Dear fellow Manthanites, speakers, ladies and gentlemen, as Ajay said, a very warm welcome to you, all of you, on the 7th edition of Manthan Samvad. We also welcome you to the 150th birth anniversary celebrations of Mahatma Gandhi. At Manthan, we feel privileged to be part of this celebration and thank each one of you for being with us on this occasion. I still remember the centenary celebrations of Mahatma Gandhi in the year 1969. The whole country was reverberating with a sense of pride in this great man. As a young boy then, while the country was looking to remember him in a variety of ways and making his values as a part of our lives, I was actively involved in collecting his commemorative stamps. And there were plenty of them from various countries, and centenary coins which were issued in India in his name. Even at that age, I was very young at that time, it occurred to me that here was a leader many countries chose to remember and celebrate. His tenets of ahimsa and satyagraha were drawn from our own culture and tradition. Powerful tools as they were, but only Gandhi could have done two things. One, to use them as a political tool in the advancement of the freedom movement, and two, to convince crores of Indians that the route to freedom had to be value-based. There was no freedom without social transformation. At Manthan, we tried to imbibe a third value which Gandhi stood for: to provide a space for the argumentative Indian, as Amartya Sen puts it. Gandhi's own debates, which he ran in Young India regularly, and his conversations with Rabindranath Tagore are fine examples of his passion to debate. Frankly, I would like to remember and build on our own rich tradition of debate over the centuries. In the famous debate between Shankaracharya and Mandana Mishra, the arbiter was Bharati Mishra, Mandana's wife. Shankaracharya did not seem to have had any problems with that. Knowledge over conflict of interest, I guess. It lasted for more than 14 days. No one was in any great hurry to go home. The wager was each one would live the life of the other in the event of a defeat. No killing or hating each other. The content of the debate was of the highest quality of thought, philosophy, and ideas. How I wish we could learn more from those traditions of debate rather than think for sure that anti-gravity was invented by Hanuman, who used to break long jump records. If one reads the proceedings of the Congress sessions of those years, the value of debate can be underscored. Discussions were open, differences were transparent, topics were wide-ranged, agreements were recorded with due space to the dissenting groups, and everyone felt that they were still part of the movement that chose to build a new, free India. Respect for each other's wisdom and ability to listen all voices of reason was very high. The ever-failing Nehru and the strongest man iron ever invented, Patel, both shared platforms and later shared power with dignity and mutual respect without knowing how they would turn out to be 70 years later. Bose and Nehru disagreed with each other on the road to freedom. I can confidently say that they did not hate each other as some of us would like to believe. There should be enough space in our minds to hold the opposing thoughts of Gandhi and Ambedkar and rationalize the alternate thoughts without having to reject the narrative of one just because the other was right in some arguments. Manthan is a platform for the Bahushruta, listening to many voices and finding reason and logic in each. At Manthan, as you can see in our logo, we seek to provide a platform to open the doors of our minds, opening it for speakers to be able to visit what I would call the most eclectic audience in the country. Thank you for that. Speaker after speaker who visit us go back with a sense of tremendous respect for the way our audience has organized itself. We are civil, informed, and willing to engage in a debate without rancor. Open, because our minds are always enriched for debate and discussion. Obviously, some of us will not be satisfied, are not satisfied with the way we conduct the Q&A sessions in the regular Manthan events. Let me give you a sample of the irritants. Is Vikram against the backward classes, as he seems to favor only the first few rows always? Am I specially ignored? Is Ajay a leftist because when he's directing questions, the people on the right do not seem to be getting a chance? Well, for all these questions, let me assure you, the answer is a firm no. We try to give everyone a chance. We would also like to give a preference to the younger people in the audience who seem to be asking more searching questions. We also keep in mind the limitations of time of the speaker. The speaker may have to catch a late night flight back home sometimes. Sometimes we notice that she's actually tired. There are other issues too. Some of the questions are not questions, but statements of personal experiences. Some are expressions of anguish. Some plainly not connected with the topic or with what the speaker has said. But I must admit that these are in a minority. If the speaker is happy every time, which she is, it reflects how we are as an audience. Inviting, inquiring, questioning, nudging, challenging, all in the form of a civil form of a debate. We are told that nowhere in India is this happening, at least not 281 times in the past 15 years of our work. Our introductions of the speaker in the regular Manthan events, you would notice, are the briefest, if there is a word like that. After all, the audience has come to listen to her, and not a moment should be wasted on by our learning about her from us. There is enough material on the speaker on the web, and our own circulation by mail has an introduction. We assume the speaker has been introduced well. Another question which we grapple with is the duration of the speech. Should the speakers have a shorter time to speak and have more Q&A time? Well, we have struggled with this question too, but have now generally agreed that each of the speaker represents a life work of experience and expertise. Our platform and our audience make it possible for them to tell us about their work and their thoughts. On that, there should be no limit. We had a speech last year by Faizan Mustafa, which lasted for more than 2 hours, and the audience was spellbound and no one moved. There is a presentation by K.K. Muhammad in August, which will take your breath away if you watch it on YouTube also, on the remarkable work he and his dedicated team have done to revive the Shiva temples in Bateshwar in the Chambal Valley. The highest order of professionalism, dedication, and a life's work in archaeology, a field which we do not discuss much, definitely not as much as Kashmir. Having said that, there are some speakers who want to finish it fast and engage with the audience at the earliest. Fortunately, our platform provides flexibility for both. I will end with a verse from the Mahabharata, pointed out by one of our previous speakers, Ananya Vajpayee, which captures what we are trying to do at Manthan wonderfully. Tatko pratishta srutayo vibhinna, na eko rushir yasya matam pramanam, dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam, mahajano yena gatah sapandaha. There is no single scholar who can call us as the only authority. Even the logic of doctrines is unstable. Our scriptures are diverse. The essence of Dharma may be thought of as elusive, concealed, obscure, and inaccessible, as it is hidden deep inside a cave. Maybe the cave is deep within us to seek. It is the path of the Mahajana, the expert to guide us through the path of discovery. There is another meaning of Mahajana. It is the work of many people who, like us, trod the oft-beaten path in pursuit of truth. Both interpretations stay. Manthan will celebrate both such interpretations. I congratulate and thank each one of you who have been part of this institution the past 15 years, and I'm sure that we'll have a great day on Manthan Samvad. Thank you.